If I could choose one area for every salesman to really knuckle down and work on an individual basis, it would be this one area. Stick around and check it out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The one area that I think every salesperson or business owner or just every individual could definitely use work on, but especially in this field, would be confidence. And I can hear everyone saying, Charlie, if I could just snap my fingers and have confidence, my life would be a whole lot easier. But I tend to disagree with that. I don't think confidence is something that people are born with. I think there are certain people who have more than others, and there are definitely certain people who express confidence better than others. But when I'm speaking of confidence, I am talking about the belief in your own ability to complete a task or to get the job done. And in this industry, especially in commission-only sales, nothing can be more detrimental or beneficial to your performance than knowing and understanding that I can do this job as well as anyone else, and I can do this job well enough to make a really good living. So I think there are essentially 3 different ways that we can really focus on confidence, and they all center around one concept, and that is growing our competence in these fields. And I have on my board where I work at my shop, where I do all my talks with my sales team, it says confidence with an arrow down to competence. And then from competence, there is another arrow up to confidence. The reason why it says that is because as I grow and I become more competent at my job, I will grow in confidence in my ability to do the job. And as my confidence grows, I become more competent. And I'll explain to you why. So, the first area that we need to work and become more competent is job acquisition. Job acquisition is, sort of the very beginning. It is the keystone to this job. If I am good at picking up work, then I can figure the other stuff out. And I've had the opportunity to work with many different personality types in this job. And what I've noticed is that those who come in with a bit of a chip on their shoulder and they're able to take off, hit the ground running, go out, hit the pavement, and just pick up jobs regardless of their knowledge, those people tend to do better in the long term because they allow themselves the opportunity to learn on the job. But for those of us like myself, when I started in this industry, door knocking was not something I was interested in. It was not something I was good at. It was not something that I had ever done. So what I did in the beginning, I had a partner who was a little more comfortable at door knocking, and we hit the road together and we knocked doors, and I spent a ton of time understanding the material elements of the job, the inspection elements of the job, the overall components that exist on the exterior of a house. And our dynamic that we had as a partnership sort of became, he was the one who established the contact and dealt in the beginning, and then I would come in with more of the technical elements of the job, dealing with the contracts and dealing with the elements of a roof or the siding that they didn't quite understand. But what was able to happen during that time period is I was able to develop a confidence just sort of through osmosis from this partner that I had in an ability to go out and pick up work. Well, those of us who are starting the job and working on our own, the only way that we can develop confidence in our ability to pick up work is to go out and do it. And I've heard excuses left and right as to why people can't go out and knock doors. Almost all of them are centered around fear and laziness. Those are the only reasons why you can't go out and knock doors. And there's only one way really to get better at knocking doors. We could spend all the time in the world watching videos from incredibly informational sources on knocking doors, but the only way to really get better at it is to go out and do it. So The more I go out and knock doors and talk to people and put my feet on the pavement and learn how to interact with human beings when we're showing up on their doorstep without ever announcing we were coming, is to go out and deal in those personal situations. As I become better at that, the way that that will make me more confident is very easy to understand. But how does that confidence relay into being more competent? Well, we've grown in our competence at door knocking by just going out and doing it. And that's going to increase our confidence to go out and do it more. And now I can go out and do it more. And now I have the ability to know, okay, this may or may not be a client that I want to do work with. And my confidence in the ability to go out and pick up another job tomorrow will allow me to walk away from a job that may wind up being a headache in the future. That's the first area that we need to grow. The next area that we need to grow in our competence in order to grow confidence in our job is in the technical aspects of the roof inspection and the insurance mitigation elements of this job. If I don't understand the elements of a roof, it's going to be really hard for me to have confidence in my ability to sell one. It's common sense. The same thing applies with other things that I'm out there trying to inspect and get replaced. I need to grow my knowledge, my competence in roofing components, in how a roof goes on, in the procedure of removing a roof and building one back up from the beginning. The same thing applies to siding. I need to understand the elements of the exterior of a house so that I can speak authoritatively to a client. And if I can speak authoritatively to a client, I will find that those interactions with the client put me into an authoritative position, which gives me confidence in dealing with them in the future. I tell a lot of my sales team, we set the table for the entire interaction of the sale. And as I'm setting the table, I need to make sure that I have put my chair at the head of the table. I am here to do a service for you. I know this industry much better than you do. I know roofing, siding, windows, gutters, trim. I know it all much better than you do. So therefore, allow me to do my job, and you can continue to do your job that you do in your profession, which I'm sure you know much more than I do. So I need to do my homework. I need to go out to builds. The company I worked for when I was first starting, we did a lot of builds. I would attend builds. I would swing by. I would watch. I'm watching the crew, how they're doing elements of the job. I'm watching them tear the roof off. I'm seeing where they're planning for the shingles to fall. I'm seeing how they kind of think and why they're doing the things they're doing. That way, when I show up at a client's house, I will have a wealth of knowledge to share with them. And even if they're not interested in that wealth of knowledge, I still have it. And having that knowledge gives me confidence in dealing with them. And once again, the circle starts again. I have built my competence in the technical aspects of roofing, siding, gutters, windows, trim work, whatever it is. I have done my homework. I understand the technical elements. So therefore, going into an appointment, I have confidence that I can answer any questions that come my way. And having that confidence will allow me to be more competent in that appointment. It is a cycle that continues, and that's number 2. The final area that I think we all need to understand and have more confidence in is the fact that this is what we do for a living. There's nothing icky about it. If I cannot make money doing what I am doing, then I should not be doing it. As a salesperson, I need to approach every interaction with 2 things in mind. 1, can I build a lifelong client here? And 2, can I make money? If I don't approach with those 2 things in mind, I'm wasting my time. And there are times where these come into conflict with each other, and we have to make a value judgment, 1, as a salesperson, and 2, as a business owner, as to what we want to prioritize at this given time. Can we build a lifelong client while taking less money up front and making less money on a job? Absolutely. But if I don't have the confidence to look a customer in the eye and say, hey, I can't do this job because I won't make any money at this number, then there's some work that needs to be done. And this is an area where building competence does not help to increase confidence. This is a mindset change that has to happen. I have read tons of books, and some of them have helped me so much in understanding this, that I have young children, I have a family, I have other people who are dependent upon me, and my time that I spend away from them, I will never get back. So if I'm going to spend that time doing something for work, it needs to pay money for me to be able to fund my life and my family. Uh, this is a mindset change that some people get and some people don't. I wish that I could bring people in, snap my fingers and say, hey, value your time more. I have laborers who work for me. I have salespeople who work for me. I know salespeople who work for other companies, laborers who work for, I know a lot of people in the industry, and a lot of times I see them doing things and I want to shake them and say, hey, your time is worth more than that. You've spent 3 trips back and forth to this one client's house, and this client has given you nothing but pushback the entire time. Why are we still spending time here when you know from the beginning that you're not going to make any money? And this is a mindset change that comes from repetition. If I can't spend time in the industry and learn my lessons, I'm the kind of guy that learns lessons the hard way. So I had to learn some of these lessons the hard way, and I had to invest a ton of time into some incredibly difficult projects only to come out either not making any money or even losing money, for me to realize that I need to have confidence in my own abilities. I need to have confidence in the fact that I work to make money. Period, full stop. This is not a charity. I try to do charitable stuff for people when I can, but I am investing a ton of my time into this. And as a salesperson, you are going to be investing a ton of your time into this job. You need to do jobs that make money. I tell customers right to their face, if I can't make money on it, I'm not going to do it. It's not personal. I don't dislike them, and I don't want them to view me as some sort of greedy business owner. I'm not. I just have a lot of stuff going on. And if I'm going to invest my time in this project, and if you're going to invest your time in the project, it has to be worth your time. I recommend every salesperson and every business owner to set a number, and set that number for what you would like to make on every project as a percentage of the project. And if it falls below that, walk away. Walk away from the project. You know how many times I have, as a salesman, and had guys who work underneath of me come to me and said, I know we're not going to make a ton of money on this job, but I think I can get a bunch of referrals out of this client. And every single time I say, okay, I disagree with you, but please, let's see what happens. And almost every time that client gets next to free work and never gives us a single referral. And it is because we didn't have the confidence in our own ability to look that customer in the eye and say, hey, my time is worth more than that. And I know you're telling me you have a ton of referrals, but I can't take that risk. I have to make money doing my job today because my children are at home and I'm spending time away from them. Also, there's an element trying to read between the lines here as a salesperson, and a lot of sales is psychology and understanding human behavior. If I have a client who is really, really giving me pushback on price or doing work for them and I don't feel like I'm going to make any money, what evidence do I have to assume that they're all of a sudden going to just fork over a ton of referrals to me? I have no evidence to believe that. It's more wish casting than it is actual evidentiary-based thinking. So those are the 3 areas. I need to grow in competence in job acquisition. I need to grow in competence in technical elements of the job. And I need to do some long, hard thinking and some soul searching about what my time is worth as a salesman and as a business owner. If I can fix those 3 things, I can approach every appointment with the confidence knowing that I am here, I'm good at picking up work, I know this job like the back of my hand, and I am valuable. and my time is valuable. If I can approach every client with those three things in the back of my mind, I will make a lot of money, I will be very successful, I will have a lot of happy clients, and I will not stay up every night anxious that things are going to fall apart. So I really appreciate everyone be here. Like and subscribe for more content. Take it easy, guys.